There are way too many beliefs, and whether it's religious or just society nowadays or whatever, that
communities.
Communities even.
Because think about it, if you have maybe an all-white community, okay, and you have someone of a different race come into that community, they have to adapt.
Oh yeah.
To their style, or they will be considered an outcast. Right.
No, I understand. I think I understand. They might not have to be the exact same, but they might have to change some of their customs.
They will have to adapt their customs. You're right.
Then again, anyone moving into a new community would. But I think when it's if it's a community predominantly of one race, and you have another race from that group come in, then it's going to be more difficult. I think you may wind up adapting more.
But you know what? That's funny, because I grew up in a neighborhood where my family was the only black family in the neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
Never had a problem. Never had a problem. But
that's surprising. I thought there was a lot more ethnic diversity around.
In Louisiana?
Yeah.
Certain aspects of it. So you may have, say, Houma, Louisiana, where it's pretty diverse. It's more diverse. But I was small town, Lockport, Louisiana. It's kind of blacks were here, whites were here.
Okay, so it was already kind of
segregated, divided. Not intentionally.
But that's just how it
was.
And,
right? And my family, black family, moved on the white side. And I never had a problem in that neighborhood. So it can be done. Tolerance can happen. It's the people.
Yeah. My wife, she's Costa Rican. Her family, they've lived in Canada, they've lived in Utah. I met my wife in Arlington. And everywhere that her parents move is pretty much a purely Hispanic community. Now, unless the realtor went and said, "Oh, these are the only houses that are available."
Wow, that's right.
There was some thought in her parents probably going, "Well, we want to feel that sense of community with that." So we segregate ourselves. We go into because we go into where we want to be. I don't want to go into a neighborhood that I'm not going to feel welcomed. So I'm going to look in. That might not. Now my wife's got a different. She's like, "Quit acting like you're so black." I'm like, "Look, I just love people. I don't care what color it is." Right. But we look. I mean, I know my wife and I, we look at houses. We don't go into certain neighborhoods unless they have certain qualities. We want to make certain that when we go there, people are out in their front yard talking to us.
Right.
And that's a little bit strange nowadays to honestly get that.
It's not as common anymore. No. I grew up with that. I grew up with block parties and everything. And I want that for my kids, but it's just not as much of it.
I didn't grow up with that at all. Yeah. And that's why I do want it. Because I'm like, where I grew up, it was kind of, everyone was on 1 acre of land. So it was kind of country, but it's not like pasture country. It was myself and my next door neighbor. We were the only 2 kids. That was it.
Wow.
So I didn't have any community. I had no community to get with. I want my kids to grow up and be like, "Hey, I want to go 3 houses down and go play with those kids." Yeah, sure, do it. But I want that. But that's also, again, getting back into, we segregate ourselves. I'm going to look for a community that's going to have that. I'm going to look for a community of a certain wealth, most likely. Unless I'm scared off by what the community is doing, the color is not going to bother me. Because I'm looking, for me, it's not about the color, it is about what the community itself is doing. And that, it sounds like, now that I'm saying it, it's probably going to come to a mixture of money and just openness and friendliness.
Well, when you really take a look overall, a lot of the things that people tend to quickly associate toward race often come down more to levels of socioeconomic status.
It is.
Yeah,
Because you see black and white people and Asian people and everything together in a certain, they're similar wherever they're at.
Right.
For everyone who says there's like, oh, there's ignorant black people down there. Oh, I'm sure there's some ignorant white people.
And you better believe there are.
Yeah, and they're just as bad and as anyone else. It comes down a lot more, and then people, and you get it because, often people who have grown up,
it's important,
more from an ignorant standpoint, they tend to like reinforce all of that around the same.
Absolutely.
The same area. So you end up with, with one side of town that's black, one side of town that's white, or, all the Hispanics are in one area because, because everyone, they feel uncomfortable, but they're, a part of it's, they feel uncomfortable because they don't trust that particular race. Mm-hmm. But part of the reason they don't trust that particular race is because it was taught to them before, and it's just repeating.
Like people who truly are not racist, who really believe we're all just people, they get two equal houses and one's a white neighborhood and one's a black neighborhood. I'm not racist, but I'm going with the white neighborhood.
Right.
I think I would do that. And I don't find myself racist, but I'm not lying. If I'm looking at a neighborhood and I'm looking at two houses, and I was just apartment shopping not long ago, and one I see whites, blacks, Hispanics, and one is all blacks, I'm going with that one, and I don't know why, because I really don't feel like I have. No, but in my action, I'm kind of a racist.
I get it.
Everyone's a little bit. Yeah. You know that Avenue Q? You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Everyone's a little bit racist.
No, I get that. I get that.
But I don't put that as racism though, and I could be wrong.
That's comfort
but I don't put that as racism because look, I told you I play basketball and I love it, and if you're gonna be in any major basketball place, there's lots of black people. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not going to be all white. Mm-hmm. That's not going to be the best basketball game there is. So,
no.
All right, now with that being said, though, I can play seriously. Oh goodness, I can play all day long with all mixes of color. But if it came down to a white neighborhood, black neighborhood, I would choose white personally because of community also. I grew up in a white community. I might go into the black culture, and I just might not fit in that much. They can be nice to me all day long, but if I go and I sit with them, our community might be different. That I just might feel like an outcast. They can all be nice to me. I'll be nice to them too. And we never once say a single thing bad to each other. But because of the culture of it, maybe I don't want. All right, and I can say this only to apply it to something I can actually know. My wife's Costa Rican. When we go to her house, it's loud, it's boisterous. Mm-hmm. We go to my house, it's calm, it's quiet. Mm-hmm. Culture.
Yep, right. It's cultural.
I love her parents, and her parents know it. I love her parents. I love her brother, her sisters. I've been with them for a long time. I care for them. Mm-hmm. They all know it. And they know my parents and my brothers and my brother and sister. They love them too. We have been together for a long time. But the culture is completely different. And if I have a choice, it will come down to my mood on what I want to do.
Right.
Because if I want to go out and party, I'm going out with my mother and father-in-law. Right. My family's going to be boring. Mm-hmm. But if I want to just go and relax, I'm not going to go to them to relax. I'm going to go to my side.
Right.
Because of the way we just act. And that's what I was saying. I don't think it's racism. When because also I apply racism instantly to anything negative, and I don't think that's racist for me to feel that way, but I am going to make that choice because
I think every race and culture feels that way though.
Yeah,
I mean, you take a black person,
it's your comfort,
right? It's your comfort level. If you take the majority of
I don't want to be the odd man out.
I'd be the odd man out. The black team's gonna win.
In basketball,
I play to win. I play to win.
You gonna play with the black squad?
I play with the black guy. They can just put me on the bench the whole time because I suck.
With the black squad.